You're listening to the One Man Show Network. Welcome to the MMA Fight Picks Podcast with your host, Aaron Weinbaum.
Hey kids, welcome to the MMA Fight Picks Podcast. I am your host, Aaron Weinbaum, and I am picking the fights for this weekend's UFC Newark. I did a disservice to some people last week. I was not monitoring my Twitter. I was only monitoring the Periscope, and some guys tried to chime in and help me pick some fights from the MMA BSers podcast. So my bad on that. I'm going to have my Twitter open starting now, actually. I'm trying to get to it. So a little live type problem here. Boom. Okay. So if you are commenting on the fights and help me pick, please continue to do so on the Periscope. If you're on the YouTube, feel free to hit subscribe, or you can subscribe to me anywhere you can find a podcast, iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, whatever. All right, let's get to it. Feel free to chime in. UFC Newark, the main event of the evening, will be Robbie, Lawler, Colby, Covington. Let's dive right in. First fight of the night. You know, first of all, before I pick these fights, what a great card last week we had. I like the co-main and the main event. I don't want to say what a great card, what a great co-main and a main event. I feel like that this particular card this week and UFC 240 should have been kind of sprinkled together, because UFC 240 is not as strong as even this ESPN card this weekend. So, and that's kind of the danger of having fights like every single week. So we'll see what happens there. Anyway, I'm off my soapbox. This is a big ESPN. I don't have to stream anything this weekend. I'm super happy about that. Let's get to the first fight of the night. Mickey Gall really going under the radar here. I didn't even know he was fighting against Salim Touahri. Well, Mickey Gall famously lost to Diego Sanchez. He succumbed to the second round by punches. Before that, he beats George Sullivan. He loses to Randy Brown. He has wins over Sage Norcutt and the great CM Punk. And then you got Salim. Not really, I guess the really kind of giving Gall this fight as a chance to rebuild himself, because he has two recent losses, the great Warley Alves and Kita Nakamura, split decision, but I don't see Gall losing this fight against a relatively unknown, so I'm going to pick Gall here to win this fight. If you disagree, let me know. Next up, Scotty Hot Sauce Holtzman against Dong Hoon Ma. All right, I like Hot Sauce. I like saying the name Hot Sauce. He did lose to the Nick Lentz. It was a unanimous decision. I picked Scotty to win that fight. For that, he's got wins over Alan Patrick and the great Daryl Horcher, who you may remember as coming into short notice to fight Khabib at one time. Dong Hoon Ma, he just lost to Devontae Smith at UFC 234. Before that, he's got wins over Damian Brown, Takan and Rigomi, but this is way back in 2017. So neither one of these guys are super active. What do I got here? You know, I'm going to go by strength of nickname. I think Holtzman, Scotty Hot Sauce Holtzman, has this fight. Yes, sir. Next up on the card, Joaquim Silva versus Nasrat Haqparast. Man, I thought that Joaquim Silva was going to get beat by Jared Gordon, and that was a hard fight to watch, man, because I think Jared ended up tearing his hamstring in that fight, if I'm not mistaken. He does have a win over Jared Gordon, which means a lot to me. Jared is a tough dude. He has his last loss was Vince Pichel. Before that, you know, he doesn't have a real long list of contenders that he has beaten. And then you got Nasrat. Same deal. I mean, he hasn't lost in a long time, but not really the best strength of schedule here. Theobald Gaudi, Mark Diakis. I think that, you know, this could be a close one, actually. This could be a little bit under the radar, but I like Joaquim Silva in this fight. Man, this one, This is a fight I'd rather see 10 years ago, but I'm looking forward to it, man. It's a little bit of a nostalgic type fight here. Jim Miller, Guida. You saw Clay fight last against BJ Penn. BJ had moments, but man, I wish that guy would stop fighting. Now there's a rumor he's going to fight. He's going to fight Nick the Carney Lentz. Jason Gonzalez is the last win here on Jim Miller's resume here. He got submitted by Charles Oliveira. He's really been going wins and losses, and then he, had lost, 1, 2, 3, 4 in a row. Dustin Poirier, Anthony Pettis, Trent Aldo, Dan Hooker. Yeah. Man, this is so tough. And then you got Guida. Both real mainstays of the sport, real mainstays of the lightweight division. Both these guys have losses against Oliveira. I think Clay, he's beat some more relevant people here. Joe Lozon, Eric Coach. This is tough. I think that Clay Guida is probably going to edge this out and beat Jim Miller. I don't know if he'll finish him. Jim's a super tough guy, but yeah. Clay, the Carpenter, Guida will get it done. All right, Colby Covington, Robbie Lawler. Man, this is a good fight. And, good on Colby for taking it. I'm sure he was compensated a little bit. But my God, when was the last time Colby lost? Worley Alves in 2015. And he has beat some killers. Max Payne Griffin, Brian Balberina, Dong Hyun Kim, Damian Maia, Rafael dos Anjos. And then you got Robbie Lawler. I don't think Robbie's been up against a guy that's not a top dog in years. He had that kind of weird loss to Ben Askren. His knee about fell off when he fought Rafael dos Anjos. I think dos Anjos is always going to be the one, or he's always going to be like 3 or 4 in that division, or 5 now that Leon Edwards have beat him. He's got wins over Donald Cerrone. He got that real quick knockout when Tyron Woodley lightning struck in Tyron's hands. But look at this resume, man. Carlos Condit, Rory McDonald, Johnny Hendricks, Matt Brown, Jake Ellenberger. Whew. But then you got Colby. Colby's just got that grind style. And, let's do some MMA math here. And I don't like picking fights by this method. But you got Robbie Lawler fought dos Anjos. Dos Anjos got the better of him. I mean, even with the knee injury. And, you saw Colby kind of handle dos Anjos. You saw Colby handle Damian Maia. I think out of the two, obviously, I want to say that Colby's going to be the stronger grappler. But, he's left ATT. It looks like, he dumped Ben Askren on his head. That means something. Nobody's ever really done that to Ben in a mixed martial arts fight before. But I got to say, probably, oh, man, this is a little difficult to pick here. I'm going to probably say Colby's going to out-grapple him. Colby's going to win this fight. But I wouldn't be surprised if lightning struck. This is kind of one of those deals where, I root for Robbie Lawler a little bit, but don't think he's going to win. And we'll see what happens. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But, this is a real short pick'em here. I appreciate y'all listening. You can find me anywhere. You know what? AaronSaysWhat.com. Click on the MMA Fight Picks tab. I'd love it if you left me a review on the iTunes. There's also links on the website to give me some feedback. And before I sign off on Periscope, if there's anyone wants to say anything, now's the time. If not, I'll see you next week on the MMA Fight Picks podcast, where I will be picking fights for Uruguay. Valentina Shevchenko versus Liz Carmouche. Yeah, I had a little brain fart there. So until next time, this is Aaron Weinbaum. Shalom.
Please remember to support the podcast by visiting the affiliate links on AaronSaysWhat.com.